record on this computer. All right, and boom, we admit all.
Playing from the Ben's Mac Mini.
Ta-da, ta-da. Nice. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. We're right on time. My name is Benjamin. I'm the CEO and founder of MyGigsters. Really thank you for taking the time to come and spend your afternoon with us. If you haven't grabbed a cup of coffee or a tea or a lunch, I would definitely encourage you to grab one so that you make the most of your time. And there's a lot of content that we're going to cover in the next 20, 30 minutes. So feel free, get a comfortable seating, and we'll get started in a few seconds. For those who don't know, I'm based in Adelaide, and today's topic is something that we've been wanting to share to a lot of our network and community for a long time. And today's topic is about if you are an accounting firm, you are in the right place. Who wants to grow their business and start attracting a more high ticket customer or better margin customers. We're going to talk about some of those, how to get to that point, and also understand in a real time how this works. And there might be points in this that will closely relate to your business. There are things that you can quickly implement. There are some stories that will be shared and that you can relate to your business. There are things that you could, maybe validate that you're doing the right thing. There are also things that you may not make any sense. So it's not a full guarantee that you will have every answer to the questions, but we'll make the best effort to cover all of it. A bit of housekeeping before we start. This webinar is being recorded, so you can feel to keep yourself on camera or not, but I would definitely recommend being on mute. And the second thing is this question and answer session towards the end. So if you got any questions, you don't have to wait until the end. You can simply put it in the chat box, and one of my team members will, make sure that the questions are being called out and they're being addressed within this presentation itself. Last but least, if you happen to miss this call, or if you happen to get into a meeting meanwhile or before this webinar ends, don't worry, we'll get in touch with you and we'll send a recording of this video anyway to be able to get all the value out of this webinar. Now, when this topic came to our mind as a team, we wanted to see, we just don't want to give a bunch of Google answers, how to scale an accounting business. That wouldn't be most valuable. So we wanted to go and find and get someone who's already done it and who's doing it as we speak, and someone who can share that real story of growing the business, not just as a high performing, high profitable venture, but also as a really good community driven business. And then we looked around, and the top on our list that we always go to and we have built relationship with is Ash. So Ash, thank you for joining today's call. Ash is based out of Melbourne, but he's the director of ClearTax. It's one of the leading accounting firms in Australia, with offices both in Victoria and in New South Wales. Ash is obviously licensed to do this, so he's a tax agent himself. But he's been in the business for quite a long time, which Ash is going to share more about him and his story. But the one-liner is, Ash has been there. He has a lived experience of growing this business, and I would very much welcome Ash to share what he has seen and what are some of the ways that accounting firms can attract high-paying customers and start to get to that level. Ash, welcome. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Benjamin. Are we starting now? Would you want me to just go now?
Yeah. Just give me a
okay.
second. I'm gonna get your presentation up on the screen in a sec.
Okay. Would you like
I will be your assistant.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's good. Thank you so much, Benjamin. Meanwhile, Benjamin is getting that sorted. So, guys, thank you very much for joining in. Again, there's no mantra to what I can discuss today, but I'll definitely share some real-time examples of what and how ClearTax has evolved as a practice. Again, there's a long way to go, but as Benjamin and team has approached us to share our story, and we're not shy to share our story, so very happy to share it openly with everyone. And there will be a lot of opportunity for Q&A at the end. I will try my best not to bore you. I will try to concise it to about 10 to 15 minutes, and then obviously we'll keep it very interactive after the session as well, if that means help. Okay, let's move to next slide, please, Benjamin. Thank you. So that's ClearTax, guys. We are currently present in 6 locations. We have started our practice in 2018. So it's not that long ago if you kill a number of years, but we were managed to be present in 6 locations, and that's me and Yuvraj. We look a little bit different, but this picture is not that old. It's only maybe 3 days old. Yeah. So and that's obviously the ClearTax. We have not always been accountant. To be honest, we have started our journey in 2003 as a hotel management graduate, and then slowly and gradually we evolved to become an accountant and start liking accounting and never stopped after that. So as you can see in the next slide, that's my professional journey that kind of related to finance and accounting. I've never stopped myself, to involve into small certifications or big certifications in that per se. For example, I've done my ACCA in 2011 and then moved to a CA, Australia, New Zealand in 2017. Then got into financial planning and then got into TPP registration, IPA, Kaplan, and I'm still actually continuing a student of Kaplan. I'm studying my degree in financial planning as well. So my background is I'm a chartered accountant, tax agent, and financial advisor, and just obviously making sure that I'm up to date with all the compliance and the laws as well as the knowledge that my client needs. Hence, entering into an accounting is no easy. You gotta keep yourself up to date, and this is just showcase that no matter what happens, you gotta make sure that your learning continues and keep on adding certifications wherever it gives a lot of credibility and confidence to you as well as to your clients. Cool. Today's sort of presentation has been divided into 4 parts. We're going to talk about the niche, the tools, importance of tools, network, because accounting is more about networking and referrals as well. We're going to talk about that, and obviously the efficiency, because accounting is more about, say, tax and accounting is all about your staff. You want to make sure your staff is extremely efficient, and hence, it's no time you'll start losing money if they're not. So similarly, I have few slides on each topic, which will wrap it like that, and hopefully, there'll be an opportunity for Q&A. Okay, so move to the next one. Next one, please. Right. So niche. As an accounting practice, if you're just starting, there's a very low trust, and especially when it comes to confidence, and your confidence is not high as well. So it will be very similar story as us when we started in 2018. Though we came to Australia with about like 10 to 15 years of experience in accounting and taxation and stuff like that, but still the confidence was really low because we're not really familiar with Australian law and obviously the culture and everything was so different. So probably it's where I know a lot of people talk about niche, but it's extremely difficult to define the niche when you are new, and everyone gets it, right? It's not like, oh, I will only work with doctors. Yes, of course, but doctors want to work with you. So it's not easy and fully understand it. So as a new practice, you kind of be open. In my scenario, most of the practice will be open to accept clients, and mostly the clients will reach out to you as individuals where they do not have direct relationship with their accountants. So many individuals probably are not very loyal to current accountants. They would obviously shop around every single year and they probably move around. So you would be able to tap onto them and slowly build your relationship with them, and then gradually move into business if that is your area of expertise, or you want to develop that expertise into business, and then some sort of niche areas like SMSF. And then after a few years or after a couple of years, unless you are extremely super smart, it will take you a few years to develop your advisory side of things. If someone tells you, yeah, you can sell advisory in year 1, year 2, it's difficult. It's difficult. But once you are versed with all these modules of individuals and business, I think so you will start understanding and start to move your practice towards advisory, because advisory is probably one of the most profitable and more rewarding as a career as compared to tax returns alone. So always think of how you can be an advisory, and never be shy away to enroll to the courses that can actually help you to develop your advisory arm. If that is so, from the niche, I would say obviously one sort of niche is you can probably focus on a sector. Our practice is it actually attracts a lot of IT consultants. So that is very much we can say this is our niche, because they get a lot of value from us. At the same time, our practice is now moving towards advisory, which started with individual, then moved to business, then moved to SMSF, and now we obviously with 3,000 plus clients, we are now moving towards advisory because we have that I think knowledge and persistence, and something that we did our 6 to 7 years, you probably can shorten it and do it a lot sooner if you can. Cool. Let's move on to next one, please. Technology, right? Technology, it's your friend. If you're an accountant or especially running your firm, you would want technology to work for you, especially having the right CRM, analyzing your reports, where the most revenue coming in, how much you want to charge your clients, how much it's costing you to do things and stuff like that. Making sure everything that you're doing with the clients is extremely confidential. There's a firmware in place and security system in place. Just last thing you want is your practice is really booming. You put you put a lot of hard efforts to run your practice, and some sort of spamware has killed the practice straight away. And then you got to report to all this compliance issue. You got to face all these compliance issues with everything. So make sure that your practice or the ground of the practice digital is extremely, the data is extremely secured. Plus you are adopting to the tools and never shy away from any. So all 6 offices that we operate is paperless. We don't even have a single paper in our office. We don't keep paper. So if you are adopting to these sort of technology, make sure that you have some room to educate the clients as well, because not everyone is paperless. But as long as your team is trained to educate the clients, I think you can achieve to that level. And if you do that, you will find yourself and the team to be extremely efficient as well, because then they don't have to deal with paper. And when you don't have to deal with paper, it's very rewarding. Having the right CRM tool, having the right accounting software, recommending the right accounting software is also very important, because your team has to work on those accounting software what you have recommended to the client. All that form part of technology, and especially the CRM. When you're sending in newsletters and stuff like that, that keeps reminding client that you exist. And when their friends and family is looking for a new accountant, they will your name will always pop up because you have sent a very recent communication to them. So few little things like that will keep you in top books for your clients. All right. So network and relationship building. It's one of my favorite topic. Accounting, I personally find accounting to be a network game. You gotta know people, and just not to win more clients, to refer your clients as well. Let's say someone wants to buy a property. They need a mortgage broker. They need a conveyancer. Probably they need a buyer's advocate. So you can actually refer to multiple people. Say, and if you're an accountant, you're a trusted accountant, they really trust you. But if you don't have a referral partnership, as in a trusted network where you can refer your clients and that person gonna do the good job, it's very, very difficult to be seen as an expert in your field, because people trust you as an accountant and people feel that you would be able to direct them in the right direction. And hence, network is not just to win clients. Network is actually important to able to refer your clients as and when they need it to, right? So not to be shy away of any meetup. And obviously, I want to congratulate you to spending your time to learn about. This is kind of networking as well. This is kind of meetup. This is kind of networking what we're doing today as well, because you have taken your time. Obviously, none of you, would have that free time, and you've taken this time to network and knowing what other people are doing or have to say. This is also commendable. And similarly, any opportunity, if you can afford to be part of from time wise, you should definitely focus to see if you can go and meet new people and build your network. Again, referrals will flow in as long as you are able to, as long as you are able to do the good job. By default, referrals should flow in, but you should never miss out on referrals, because sometimes I've seen some practices, they're very, very focused towards winning new clients, but when the clients are won, they're not really servicing them at a high expectations, or not, or the minimum expectations are not met. Hence, clients are very unhappy. Because when the clients comes to us, sometimes they do have these sort of stories, which makes me wonder that it takes huge effort to win the trust to move the accounting, and then when they won the trust and everything, they are not able to service them. So it's very important that you maintain that level of service. Plus make sure that any relevant opportunities you get to network, you do that. Another thing is, do not underestimate SMM, social media marketing. If the likes like LinkedIn, Facebook, not everyone is comfortable with every single platform. That's okay. You can choose your platform which you are more comfortable, which resonates to your thought process and everything. But once you choose the platform, start contributing and start putting your business out there. That actually adds a lot of value, because you just need a couple of referrals from a network. And once you've done a good job, you will be surprised to see a lot of people from that network keep on referring you. So again, do not underestimate social media is probably one of the other tip. Move to next slide, please. We have done networking a little bit differently, as a sounds of it. I'm really passionate about this topic. So what we have done is, when we launched ClearTax, we didn't knew many people, especially in the business and stuff like that. So what we have done is we have launched something called Clear Business Network. And the whole purpose of Clear Business Network was to create a platform for small businesses to come together and start building a network of trust. So that network has started with 6 people only in 2019, has actually grown to 3,500 people now, and is all business owners, mostly from Melbourne, if not from Australia. And that is really helping us to pitch our accounting practice to the network, and also building the connection that is not really in our network. And then through the Clear Business Network, now they know us and we know them, and it's really powerful. What we also do is, we just don't do it on Facebook. We actually do every 2 months. We organize a face-to-face networking group. We basically initiate it every single 2 months, and then we organize it. About 150 people or 150 business owners will turn up to those events and network with each other. So hence, this also puts a lot of authority with us as an accounting practice, that we are not even just helping the small businesses around Melbourne. We are also giving opportunity for our business clientele to actually have an opportunity to network with other business owners as well and increase their revenues. So we're not just any accountant. I would say we're probably looking after our clients with one step ahead of our competition. Cool. Let's move on. Last one on the topic, as I said, we're trying to keep it concise and precise. Efficiency. Again, keeping the slides really efficient, I believe, is also important, and is also a reflection of efficiency. We want to make sure that we have a standard operating processes in place. Put a lot of focus on hiring. Do not underestimate the hiring. So plus ensure that you have systems in place to train staff. And I'll do have a tip for you in the next slide, how to train staff. If you are really stuck on time and you're not sure how to train staff, some of you may have already figured it out, but just in case if this is valuable, I will share the tip in the next one. Also think of if accounting is very competitive, if offshore is a solution for you. We have offshore, and that has been fruitful, but we've been extremely conscious of data security, as well as it's cost effective. Not every offshoring is cost effective. You want to make sure that training and processes in place just to make sure that offshoring is cost effective. So it's not always yes and no for everybody. You got to take a call on that one as well. And hiring the right talent is keeping them motivated. Talk to them. Don't underestimate your talent, because your employees are everything to your business. So make sure they are looked after extremely well. And hence, if their employees are looked after extremely well, they will make sure the business will look after extremely well. Right. And as I said, I do have a tip for you. If you want to train yourself and your staff, not every time you would be able to create a training material, because it takes huge amount of effort and time from your time to create a training material. So what I've done is, if you go to YouTube, all right, and if you type a topic, you would find some really commendable people have done videos on that topic. What you can do is you can build a list of all these topics that are relevant for you. For example, how to imagine if you want to train staff with how to apply for TFN, what is Bear Trust, what is SMSF, what is company, what's the difference between a company and a trust, what is 7A, division 7A, and all that. So all these topics people have already done the videos on. So be intelligent, copy the link, put that into Excel spreadsheet, write the topic, and then give it to your staff as a training material. I've done this a few times because obviously it's a available video on YouTube. I just benefit from other people making videos, and obviously this is for knowledge sharing they have done, and I just benefit learning from it as well. So similarly, not to be any topic that you feel that is important for that training material, you can just put that into Excel spreadsheet and just ask your staff to go through it over a week or something, and hopefully your staff would be more educated in terms of dealing with those topics. And obviously they can drop a thank you note for someone who's done the video. So this screenshot is actually from 12 chartered accountants. I really love their videos, and big shout out to them. They're doing a commendable job by creating all this. So yeah. Okay, so moving on. As I said, we'll try to keep it concise, and that's it from me, guys. Very happy to take your questions.
Ash, thank you so much. I should say, providing so much valuable content in less time itself is a very commendable task, and there's so much of value that you provided, and I really appreciate you being authentic and sharing your lessons learned, and also it comes from a great place of I respect people when they come out. I know people in this webinar are your competitors in one shape or form in the same business, but it takes a lot of heart to come and tell success is only when it is shared. And I really appreciate you for doing that. And there's a lot of great tips. I will summarize them in a second, but thank you so much. People who have questions, please start dropping them in the chat. My team will start to push them through. But there's one key item that I would like to take a quick stab at it, and that is more around. Let me spotlight for everyone. I'll come on spotlight. Yes. It's about, you spoke about having the right tools and efficiency. And I think as any service business, for you to grow and scale, these are like the crucial elements for your growth. Because end of the day, your time is limited. You have to balance between working in the business and working on the business. And your team is your service providers, so you're very much dependent on the procedures, the tools, and how you train your staff and what kind of systems you have in place that help you to scale. So on that note, I would like to talk about how we met. We have helped many accounting firms in the last a few months, and I want to share a story on how we have helped. And if this makes any sense to you, I'm sure it'll add more value to this presentation. So give me a second. So for people who didn't know, I didn't give a full introduction of what MyGigsters does. We are a fintech company based in Australia that provides one of our core platform is an automated bookkeeping and service platform for accounting firms that predominantly serves individual clients like sole traders, TFN, and single person ACN and stuff. We are not a platform like Ignition or other platforms who target at like businesses. We are very much designed to help accounting firms serve individual customers. And I'll tell you why. And there's a story that I want to share. The story is, we met with this person. Name obviously is not James for the presentation, but let's say James. A very good growing accounting practice, and in the last couple of years, while James started as a client to serve individual customers, and he's got 500 odd individual customers that would come for GST batch lodgements or tax lodgements. Over the last couple of years, he started to grow his accounting clients like SMBs. And he wants more of those clients because, as Ash said, he has found this niche in those clients and they pay better. And there's a lot more lifetime value with those clients. They can pay anywhere between a couple of grand a year to tens of grand based on the size of the customer and also the services that they want. So James and his team wants to grow that side of the business, but they don't want to leave the individual clients either. And they are a very small team. The growth has been good. They wanted to scale and they wanted to grow. Now, at the outset, it looks really great, right? 500 individual clients, 50 accounting customers, and 2 bookkeepers. Great job. But James does have a problem. While there's good volume, he makes less profits. And that's mainly coming from a context of, for every individual client, he earns about $500 per year for GST and tax lodgements. But his systems and the staff members are not truly aligned and optimized for efficient delivery. So what happens is he ends up spending roughly around 8 hours to verify and lodge these taxes for those individual clients. And by doing that, he spends a lot of money just for offering this service. So though he makes good volume, he's only left with a mere $100 margin for that clientele. Now, this is even more harder, right? James, in this particular example, this tax season, one of his bookkeeper left. So he's down to one bookkeeper, and he started losing his clients to like big automation companies like Henry, who were trying to eat James' breakfast. And now James is behind all tax lodgements. So it's now started to cause more pain. It's not just a lack of service, but it's also creating a more physical and mental stress for James because people are calling James and asking, hey, where's my GST? When can you get my tax lodgements done? He's got one bookkeeper. He's got so many clients on the queue. And you would know dealing with individual clients is not an easy job. I'm sure Ash, when I met with Ash and I spoke about Ash, is like, yes, you're right. They don't pay a lot of money. They're very price sensitive also. But imagine, right, this is what happens with James. When a customer gets onboarded, he has to verify the identity, give them a kind of an engagement letter, collect personal information, share a bit of code, like how much he charges for a lodgement, and then he collects the financials. And this is where it becomes more messy because number of these individual clients don't have Xero or IOB or any accounting software. Little alone, they use an Excel spreadsheet at the very least. And often they only have a bank statement and a bunch of manual receipts. And now James and team has to go and do retro bookkeeping, trying to figure out where is what and things like that, and then get it confirmed, lodge it to the ATO and keep a record of it. So this is what takes a lot of time for James and the team to service a customer who's not paying a lot of money. So this is where MyGigsters comes into place. We are a technology platform that has a product that helps not only you, but you also your customer to completely automate and streamline your business. We take care of onboarding. We automatically verify their identity, digitally sign the contracts. We would send the quotes, invoice, collect the payments. We will do the bookkeeping automatically. And you can also chat with your customers, It's built with a mini CRM to automatically follow, nudge, remind your customers about upcoming GST or document that needs to be uploaded and all of that stuff, and creates a central repository of all this evidence that is stored like a bit of a Dropbox, so that when terms of audit purposes, these records are there and for you to be compliant. The system in essentially streamlines this activity, and at the end of the day, it gives you a ready to lodge customer with the data. It is not directly integrated to the ATO yet, but it takes care of almost 90% of the work that you would do anyway. But what is underneath, what's the special sauce is we are basically building, and we've got an AI-powered accounting partner. What it does is we've built a sophisticated algorithm that connects through open banking and connects and learns about their earnings and expenses and tax profile, and it automatically does the bookkeeping for sole traders. So imagine Benjamin is a musician in Brisbane. When connected to this platform, the platform will automatically understand the income and expenses. It will identify potential deductions. It will start to do a number of these bookkeeping in the background, and it helps you to then prepare a ready-to-lodge report where you can have all your bells and whistles, and it does in the background. Not just that, the solution also provides the suite of tools that pretty much automates all your practice. Like Ash said, what I liked about Ash presentation was a no paper office. That's really commendable, and I know why he has done it. It's not only for efficiency's sake, but also for security's sake and a threat of data protection. So this allows you to completely be digital while still servicing clients on all formats. Or Ash just mentioned about offshoring and onshoring. Our service also comes with an add-on to use our offshoring embedded service. The good thing about our offshoring embedded service is our data is all protected and intact and only in Australia. So even bookkeepers offshore can't access the data on their local computer. They have to only sign into our environment and could be able to work only on environment, and it's secure within our environment. So in total, MyGigsters is basically one of those tools where you could use to streamline your business, so that you don't have to spend a lot of time with your individual customers. And by just getting us on board, you're pretty much using it as yours, and you can service your customers. If you want more information, please let us know. We're happy to connect with you and show you a demo how it works. To make it more interesting, we are a completely white label company, so you can pretty much white label our solution as yours. You can resell it to your clients as an accounting tool and earn some revenue also. So there's a lot of those opportunities that you could unlock. So if you're interested, let me know. There'll be a link in the chat right now where you can go completely, which is a small form. Fill that form, and one of our team members will connect with you. Find a time in your calendar, and we'll show you the demo. And if it is valuable and if you think it's useful, then you can think about using it. But nevertheless, you can at least see how it works. We are very happy, like Ash and many others. We worked with over 20 accounting firms, and over 15,000 clients have been supported through this. And we also back few awards on the way, because our philosophy of disrupting the space is not to steal your breakfast, is to enable you to perform the work better. So it's a win-win for all of us. And as MyGigsters, our passion is towards helping the sole traders become more financially secure. And this way we do that at scale. That's a bit about MyGigsters, and I'm going to stop sharing. Now it's time for questions. If anyone got a question, please drop it in the chat, and we'll be able to answer the questions right away. If there is no questions, I have a few questions for Ash anyway. I'm going to throw him under the bus for that. So let me bring Ash back into the spotlight. And Ash, I've got a question for you. So great. Obviously, you touched upon really key items, right? Around identifying a niche, which is probably the big one, and getting the right tools and resources, ensuring that you have a system in place that is efficient, And then the big ticket item is going out there and connecting with businesses, not selling your business, but connecting with the business. I have a question, but it's probably aligned to those things. But one of the challenges that many accountants face is they are very time poor. Often, tax season like this, right? They literally don't have any time. You are one of those persons that I know in the network have managed this really well. Like you've got a business to run. You're also, educating, promoting. You're also building a community. As a lead accountant and as a director of an accounting firm and a growing accounting firm, how do you? What is one of the tips that you can give to manage the time well for us to do these things?
I think one tip that I have is choose the right partner. Again, a lot of credit goes to Yuvraj Verma, who's my business partner in this, and we've been discussing and strategizing is that number one problem that accounting industry is facing is accountants are not able to pick up a phone call, irrespective of July to October, but around the year. Accountants are not reachable, and that's the number one problem in an accounting industry, believe it or not. And we have thought to solve this problem from day one, and hence we have structured our practice in such a way that there's always someone to pick up a phone call when it comes from a client. So in practical scenario, how it works is I am the one who is available to pick up the phone call when they need some help from a strategy standpoint. And Yuvraj is the one who looks after the entire operations and delivery of those clients or 3,000 plus cohort clients. And we've always been very selective with the recruitment within the firm as well, and the training as well. So if you train your staff well, there is a likelihood that your clients will not call you just chasing their basses and all that, and so because your staff is doing everything on time and right thing on time, and everything is justified, and obviously they're able to explain the client what the work has been done. But as long as you're making sure that these few boxes, especially the work that is getting delivered, is right on time, and you have structured your business in a way that this is the slot or this is the person that is available for the phone call, and hire people in the right spots and put them in the right spots so that they can do the bulk of it, and you as a business driver is available to actually grow the business. So if the vision has always been like this from day one, you will definitely achieve it. So this is what probably differentiates ClearTax, is we actually pick up your phone call.
Okay, thanks for that. Follow on, I've got another question. And this question is around, there is a big shift not a big shift, but there is a regular, more frequent changes in regulations. ATO comes with not only for the end client in terms of taxation rules and stuff like that, but also for accounting practices. Recently we have a new guidelines for accounting practices, and so as we know that there has been this constant evolution of frameworks and standard practices for accounting firms. How in your practice do you keep abreast of these latest guidelines or regulatory compliance? How does a small accounting firm that wants to grow can be on top of these things?
Yeah, I mean, once you're part of any of the professional bodies, especially say IPA or CA or CPA, they would actually invite you with all these updates. They do organize a lot of CPD events, and just make sure that you don't ignore them and you actually participate in those events. And even if you're not part of it, you can actually go in as a non-member, just making sure that you are in the newsletter list and you will get all these updates. We are very proactive in terms of attending those events, making sure that we do get something. We obviously the news and newsletters are healthy, but when you go and when you take the time out and you go and attend these events, it actually helps you to keep up to date with the new regulations. So there's a lot of people out there to help you. Just make sure that you are ready to take their help as well. So never be constrained yourself or bogged down with the work. Always take out time for the CPD, especially when other people are doing all that hard work, putting everything together. Yeah, all what we have to do is go and sit and understand what other people have to say for the new regulations, and hopefully, we are always up to date.
Thanks. Aniak, I'm just going to quickly look at the chat and see if there's any questions coming through. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask Ash, please drop it in the chat. Happy to get them answered. What I'm also going to do before I forget, in the chat, I'm also throwing in how do you get connected with ClearTax. So that's the website that you will see on the chat, cleartax.com.au. Yep.
Sure. Thank you, Benjamin. Meanwhile, Benjamin is doing all that to put the details for ClearTax. Is there anything that you guys like to share, something that has really worked either with you or something that you have seen to grow a practice? I mean, it will be a good knowledge sharing from you to probably other attendees as well. And something that you like to share?
That's great. If there's anyone, please, you can unmute. It's easy to unmute. And then you can share. I'm sure that will help all the other participants, including me. While you're thinking about it, I do have a final question because I want to make sure I get the maximum value of having Ash here.
Sure.
Ash, in your entire presentation, you did highlight the key of hiring the right person. You obviously mentioned like 3-4 times about it and training, which makes clear sense. But I know from an industry landscape at the moment, hiring good talent is always a challenge. More than that, retaining a good talent is also a challenge. Especially in the accounting world, it becomes very easy that attrition becomes a problem. Not for the sake that the organizations are great, because another company is ready to, pull in more staff members or pay them more, how do you, in your line of work and in your growing business, how do you manage attrition? How do you, is that something that you face, or is that a cultural thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think all organizations have to face attrition unless they're Google or something like that. I don't know if they do, but yes, we as a small organization, we are 55 right now, and then we do have attrition. I don't know what percentage is called, but we do have 88% of retention rate, which actually when I compare with the benchmark, I think so it's kind of good, and I think a few things that are really helpful to maintain that retention rate is that we are able to engage with our people and making sure that they have the good opportunities to expand, given that the firm is expanding. So there's always a new challenging role is getting evolved for everyone within the firm, and everyone is just so occupied that and engaged, and obviously getting a progression as their career progression, including professional progression with the firm. That has really helped us to retain our staff. Again, checking, it's not okay. Hiring the right talent is obviously not. You don't read a book and in the morning, you will be the best recruiter in the world and you will be hiring the right. I think it's a journey. You will learn over time. We have learned over time of 6 to 7 years of hiring. We've learned over time that what is the right. What is the right mix, what is the right mantra to implement, and what is the right framework that an individual should be put into before we put them put an offer in front of them to join ClearTax. So all that has been evolved over 3 years of a good hiring mechanism or a good learning phase. But right now we are at the stage where we don't have to put in so much effort because the frameworks are in place and the recruitment manager is doing all that hard work for us. But yes, it was a challenge initially, but I would say sometimes we as an accountant can underestimate, but this is the number one thing that you got to focus is before your clients, you want to make sure your team is right and they're motivated and make sure they're engaged. Take them for a coffee, take them for a tea, for lunch, dinner, doesn't matter what, just keep them engaged.
Yep. Thanks. Thank you so much. I remember one of our partners said this recently, and I asked him, why do you like our platform? We're not building these out of the blue new disruptive platforms. We're just streamlining your existing process. But why do you like using us? And he said, I like using you because it makes my team be happy. If my team is happy, I am happy. It goes to the fact that providing that right resources, treating them fairly, giving them that opportunity to learn and grow within the organization, and not burning them out actually helps you, and that helps the retention and growth of the company. So thank you so much. We are at the end. If there's any final questions, you get 10 seconds for the question. Ishani, you have a question?
Yeah, I would have loved to wait for any of our participants if they are facing some challenges or they have anything to ask. If they do, probably please go ahead. But I do have a question, Ash. Firstly, thank you so much. I think there were some really interesting experiences that you have shared. Uh, as we know, the compliance and advisory go in hand in hand if people want to expand their businesses. And this question is specifically for, I think, accounting firms, the owners of the accounting firms, I would believe. In your presentation, you mentioned that to grow into a firm which can also do business advisory, it would take about a couple of years. You wouldn't do at the very beginning. So, and a lot of companies do die out in the first 2 or 3 years. So let's say that what are the green flags that one can look into in the first 2-3 years that can tell them that yes, they are now at the stage that they can start thinking of business advisory. What are the few things that you can, from your experience, tell us that you are in a good position to maybe make that switch?
I think that, yeah, a really good question, Ishani. Thank you very much. So advisory would come naturally. I mean, obviously it cannot happen overnight. Like, it's a couple of years now, I should start advisory. It will not happen like that. But the way it will happen is from the day one, you would be actually serving the current clientele awesomely, because you have a lot of time to serve those clients because you don't have so many clients. And once you go deep into those clients, for example, individual tax return with the investment property and stuff like that, you go deep. You research about it. You research what expense, why expense, depreciation report. You go deep, right? And once you go deep and you gain all the relevant knowledge and stuff like that, you can then use that knowledge in your advisory after a couple of years and start using so every single thing that you will do for first 2 years will actually form part of your advisory after a couple of, because you will be knowledgeable enough in a practical way. Obviously, you've done your CA exams, you've done your tax agent exams and all that. That's everyone is doing that. So how do you differentiate yourself? So the only way to differentiate yourself when you go deep into the such topics and read online, okay, what expenses allowed, or what are the other things they can do to save taxes and stuff like that. Once you go deep, automatically your words will make more value to the clients, and they would be more than happy to pay. Again, do not underestimate the power of someone to coach and mentor you. If you believe there's an improvement area, make sure that you hire or you follow the right mentor who can then actually guide you in terms of these are the improvement areas, and let's work towards it. And that can also help you to bring out that advisory piece of work. But if you are focused from day one that I do want to get into advisory, that means you have to read a lot, and just make sure that you read a lot and you are a really effective communicator, and you're able to explain things in a simple format, because not everyone is an accountant. Not your clients are not your accountants. They are just a normal mom and dad, and you should be able to explain things simply to them. As long as you're able to do that, you can be a really good advisor, and you should be able to charge for your time and effort.
Amazing, thank you. So I think what I hear is that first of all, have a goal, whether that's what you want to really do. And if you're looking for that, the first thing is that when you have less clients, it's good. Less is more at that point in time. You really research them out, and that is the goal over here. When you research stuff, you have knowledge at back of your mind, and then you can start applying it when you have more people coming in. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Because busy accountants will not have time to research about clients, right? So that's an edge. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I don't want to keep everybody off post their lunch. Hope this session was useful. If you have missed this session, we'll send the recording to you. I've also put the links for connecting with Ash on LinkedIn and their website, and also learning more about us. And we will send a follow-up email to say thank you. And there'll be all these links again in that email. So in case if you missed it in the chat right now, you will get them again in an email, and hopefully that will help you gain more value. If you have questions post this webinar, feel free to share it, and I'm happy to tailor them and bring it to Ash or others to be able to then answer those questions. And if you've got an experience to share, please write to us, and we're happy to share that experience with our accounting partners. Other than that, I really thank you for you to spend this afternoon with us. And until I see you next time, my name is Benjamin and MyGigsters, and Ash, big thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.